So what is going on, guys, and welcome back to episode number 4 of our Sunderland career mode. And as you can see here, we are going to be kicking off this episode with a home game up against Gillingham in the Capital One Cup. So we are going to be playing our second team lineup for this one, and a few people will be making their debuts. The biggest one of them all will be Mbolo, who's just come into the starting lineup, but I'm not sure if I want to replace Jermaine Defoe and put Mbolo in. But before we decide that, we need to try out Mbolo to see if he's any good or not. But making their full home debuts will be Henry, Ambrose, Sanchez and Camano. So it's a big game for 4 of them players. Good chance for Gillingham here. They've been played through. They strike it, and Costel Pantilimon has to dig us out our hole that we created for ourselves there, as Seb Quarters was caught underneath the ball. A lovely strike there, and what about that for a save from Costel Pantilimon, who's just come back from injury. I decided to play him in this game in the Capital One Cup just in case he wasn't fully fit. He comes out there, makes a good punch, and we're going to try and clear that ball away. But Gillingham have started the game on the front foot. We're really struggling to contain them. They win the header, and Pantilimon once again matched it with a good save. However, good chance for Gillingham again. Donnelly's cut inside and Donnelly's hit the post. How often, how are we going to be able to keep this up? We're completely getting dominated here. Gillingham are all over us. We can't do anything about it. Once again, another good ball inside to Gillingham. I don't know how we're still 0-0. Basically, thanks to Costel Pantilimon and a little bit of luck as well. However, win the ball back through with Cherry Ambrose here. Cherry Ambrose is chasing down on goal. He strikes it, and the Gillingham goalkeeper with a good save there. Fletcher, I should say, wasn't happy with himself there. He thought Cherry Ambrose should have passed the ball to it. With the ball in the box, Coates goes up for the header. Nelson comes out, and the Gillingham goalkeeper comes out on top that time. But we're starting to get a foot in the game now. But it should be the other way around. Good work wide to Mbolo here. Mbolo can see Cherry Ambrose on the far side. Surely Cherry Ambrose is going to find the back of the net. And he does. And that is the reason why I wanted to sign him. I had faith in the youngster. I did know I could have went ahead and maybe try and sign a better player, like a better overall player. But I wanted to sign this guy because he's mega quick. And basically, he knows where the back of the net is. But a lovely ball to Mbolo here from Larson. And what about that for a lovely ball back from Mbolo to Cherry Ambrose. And Cherry Ambrose with a good goal there, picking up his first for the club, and hopefully it's going to be his first of many. But with 10 minutes remaining, we are going to make some substitutions, and I want to bring on a few players here. We're going to bring on Toivonen instead of Fletcher. We're going to bring on the wing, we can bring on Duncan Watmore, and we're also going to bring on Oxford for his debut instead of Catamol, so it's going to be a big role for him to play, but I'm hoping he can contain that centre defensive midfield role, as he's quite big, he's physical, and it's going to be a big debut for the 16-year-old. However, Gillingham go ahead and score in the 86th minute, and you've got to be kidding me. That looked like a pretty simple shot for Pantilimon to save, and I think he might have made a meal of it. He went for the dive. Considering he's 6'8", he's an absolute monster, and the Romanian goalkeeper wouldn't be happy with that one. They do put a good ball in the box, but still, he's facing the wrong way. It's a good volley, but Pantilimon, you've got to save that man. However, Duncan Watmore to Renato Sanchez here. Sanchez to try and take on his man, and we do actually get fouled. So we've got a chance now, just before half-time in extra time, to find the back of the net. It's going to be Renato Sanchez to step over. He takes a shot. What a shot that is. And the goalkeeper with a delightful save there, keeping Gillingham in the game. However, Mbolo's been played through. Mbolo back to Toivonen. Toivonen taking on his man. Surely Toivonen's going to find the back of the net. No, he's not, because the goalkeeper, once again, with a really good save, but Rico Henry with a good ball in the box. Can we win that header? No, we can't. Their goalkeeper is having the game of his life. He's just made a fantastic save there. Toivonen, I thought, surely was going to find the back of the net. But their goalkeeper pulling off a fantastic save there. Mbolo, I think, just run out of energy here. He hasn't got the legs to carry on. But they've given the ball away to Toivonen, and the referee has pointed to the penalty spot. Toivonen winning us the penalty just before the end of the game. The last thing we want to do is go into penalty shootout. Toivonen winning the ball, snatching it before the Gillingham defender, and it's going to be Mbolo up against Nelson, who's having the game of his life. Can Mbolo find the back of the net? You bet he can, as he picks up his first goal for the club, and he wouldn't have an easier goal either from the penalty spot. But Toivonen, he has to take the credit for that one. Lovely play from him, nipping him before the defender. The defender takes him out. The referee has no decision whatsoever but to give the penalty. And it looks like we've been given a lifeline. And the referee eventually blows his final whistle, and we made hard work of that, especially at the Stadium of Lights. So we were at home. We had the home crowd behind us. I thought we had secured the game, to be honest, but still, they went ahead and scored a late equaliser, and we had to dig deep and find the winner. So we did actually find it from the penalty spot from Mbola, who was in fact my man of the match. But Toivonen, it was a good performance by him to actually win the penalty in the first place. So it is now time to move into the second game of the episode, which is going to be away from home at Villa Park up against Aston Villa. So in theory, we should go out and beat Aston Villa, because if we want to be finishing mid-table, which is our objective, we need to be beating sides like Aston Villa, because let's face it, they're going to be fighting for relegation. They're going to be fighting to stay up in the league. So we don't want to be doing that. So we need to pick up points, because we haven't had the best start to the season. But we are going to be going with our first team lineup, and reinstated into the first team now is Kostas Pantilimon. However, Lens has scored a goal from outside the box, and Brad Guzan, I'm telling you now, he's not want to see that one again. Lens strikes it, don't get me wrong, it had a bit of power behind it, but Brad Guzan, it was straight at him, and he fluffs it. I don't know what he was doing there, that was pretty much straight at Brad Guzan. He puts a hand out, it's not strong enough, and the sheer pace on the ball beat Brad Guzan there. The Aston Villa manager won't be happy with that. Good chance for Aston Villa here. They play the ball through to Gabriel Bonloho. He strikes it, and Kostas Pantilimon with a really big save for us there, keeping us in the game just before a half-time break. However, Lens here with a good ball through to Fabio Barini. Barini is through. He's through. He plays the ball through to Defoe. Defoe first time, and what a finish from Jermaine Defoe. Just as I was saying that Jermaine Defoe's too old, he goes ahead and scores a wonderful goal there, and that is the reason why I do like having him, and that's the reason why I'm thinking hard whether I start in Bolo or Defoe, because I do know Defoe is such a clinical finisher. As you can see there, taking that first time. What a finish. Brad Guzan might have been at fault for the first one, but he couldn't do much about that one. However, good chance for Aston Villa here. Our right back has been pushed forward, and John Stones is filling in at right back at the moment. Can he stop the cross from coming in? John Stones, I am very impressed with him as we brought him in. He is very, very good. He wins nearly everything in the air, and he's also very strong and quick. And it's everything I like to see in a defender. And I think it was an absolute fantastic deal for us. And in actual fact, I think it might actually be the best deal we pulled off this transfer window. However, they've gone ahead and scored. Kostas Pantilimon once again. Is he going to be at fault for this one? He goes ahead, he makes some fantastic saves, but then he goes ahead and lets in goals like this. I think it might have taken the slightest deflections off of Stones actually. Maybe it didn't. Pantilimon, especially how big he is, he goes with the other hand and he saves that. Lens cutting inside here. Lens once again going through, and that was very naughty there from George Okore. I think he was getting a little bit frustrated that Lens was taking the mick there. Lots of step overs. He was taken in one way, then he cut back for the other. He got taken out, and I think George Okore thought, you know what? I don't care, we're already losing. He clearly gets absolutely nowhere near the ball there. Lens goes down, and Jermaine Defoe is going to be stepping up to pick up his second of the game. Jermaine Defoe's got top right-hand corner, and Jermaine Defoe scores the goal for us to put us 3-1 up, and that hopefully now should be able to secure all 3 points as we go 3-1 up away from home against Aston Villa, which could be one of our rivals going into the season. So with 20 minutes remaining, we are going to make some substitutions now. As you can see there, Angel Correa, for some reason, is always low on fitness, but then his stamina is 79, so I don't actually understand why his fitness is so low. It's perplexing, but we are going to make some substitutions. I'm going to bring on our youngster, Reece Oxford. He can come on at CDM. I think Villa. Do we put him, try him at Cam? Oh, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring on Jack Rodwell because he hasn't played in a few games. So Jack Rodwell can come on, Reece Oxford as well, and I think the rest substitution will leave for the minute just in case we pick up an injury. However, Aston Villa, as soon as we make the substitution, score an absolute wonder goal. And Alan Hutton was the one that picks it up. You would have never thought that he would be able to score from there. What a fantastic goal this was. On the half volley, right into the top hand corner. What a goal from Hutton. Pantilimon, he might have been at fault for the first one, but he was never getting anywhere near that one. However, Aston Villa got a good chance here. We actually win the ball back through Stones. Stones to Van Aanholt. Van Aanholt through to Lens. And we should be able to carry the ball clear here as we play the ball to Jack Rodwell, who just come on the pitch. He's got plenty of energy. Has he got the legs to take on Veretout? He does do. He takes on Carlos La Roca Sanchez. Plays the ball to Mateus Pereira. Mateus Pereira strikes it. And his shot clips the top of the crossbar. However, Aston Villa got the chance to equalise here. A lovely challenge there from Adam Matthews, who was actually looked like he was filling in at centre-back there. And with just 3 minutes remaining, we've got to do our best to clear the ball here. John Stones plays the ball to Defoe. Defoe to Van Aanholt. Van Aanholt back to Jeremy Lenz. And we might be able to score a goal of our own here. We play the ball through. It's through to Fletcher, who's just come on the pitch. Fletcher to take on Clark. He's going to try and play Jermaine Defoe in for his hat-trick. It actually comes to Rodwell. And we make it 4. So we end up winning the game 4-2. Absolute goals galore there. I was actually trying to pick out Jermaine Defoe because I do know he was in fact on his hat-trick, but the ball ended up going to Jack Rodwell. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I don't care because at the end of the day, a goal is a goal, and that was a decent finish as well from Jack Rodwell. So it's always nice to know that when we need goals, we've got a few players that can step up to the plate. So the referee now blows a full-time whistle, and that was a fantastic victory for us. A little bit disappointed that we managed to concede 2 goals, but besides the point, we scored 4. And as you know, football, the team that scored the most goals obviously win the game. So I was very pleased with that result. We had 7 shots and 4 of them were goals. Jermaine Defoe is my man of the match, but another player that played fantastic in that game was in fact Lenz. He was astonishing. So we're now going to move into transfer deadline day. To be honest, there isn't any players I would like to sign. Obviously there are. A few of you guys have suggested that if we actually go in for a player that's got his contract up in the next 12 months, we can pick him up quite cheap, especially in transfer deadline day. But the problem is we've only got £3 million left, which obviously isn't a lot of money. And a lot of people that I would like to bring in, like the likes of Carrillo, they're just not going to accept anything for around about 3 million. It's just not going to happen. We might put a few bids in, but if we don't get any, what I want to do is use that 3 million for the youth staff because we can bring in a few people. But have actually got a transfer offer here for Stephen Fletcher from Augsburg, the German side, and I don't really want to let him go, but if they go ahead and match like 5.5 million, I will let Stephen Fletcher go, but I don't really want to let him go because he is a decent player and he is going to be getting quite a bit of game time. We'll be playing in the cup games here, there and everywhere, and hopefully he won't go. With just 3 hours remaining, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get any new players because obviously we haven't got much money left, and I don't want to be counter-dealing, like trying to get rid of Fletcher and bringing in another striker or trying to get rid of Catamol because I want to keep them at the club and I don't want to get rid of all the Sunderland players as soon as I come in. I want to keep some of them, as some of them I do enjoy playing with. And we have actually the Manager Award. We've actually won Manager of the Month. You've got to be kidding me. We've had an awful start to the league and they give us Manager of the Month. It's a bit weird, isn't it? So we're going to now go ahead and hire a youth scout. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the most expensive one we possibly can, which is £2 million. And we're also going to bring in another one which isn't so good. Maybe we're going to bring in this one here, 245,000, because we don't want to bring in 2 really good ones because otherwise we're going to be left with no money and we're not going to be able to afford to go ahead and actually send them to the country. And why is this happening, guys? That we've suddenly got the England job. For some reason, we've got our first international management offer is to manage England as a nation. You've got to be kidding me. How is this even possible? Why are they offering the England job? I don't understand that whatsoever. So I'm not complaining. I'm going to go ahead and accept it, obviously. But that's never happened. Normally, England is the last job. I rarely ever get big nations. And the first one to come in is England. That is really weird for me. However, as we've just moved into a new month, we are going to go ahead and show you the squad report. If you are new to my channel, make sure, or if you are new to my channel, I should say, if you're new to my channel, then what I do every single in-game month, at the start of every in-game month, I go through the squad report so you guys can see how the players are progressing, and obviously you can keep up to date with how all the players are doing and how quickly they are growing at the club. So as you can see there, a lot of them already, within the first month, are already starting to increase. A little bit unfortunate that the club captain, John O'Shea, is starting to decrease, but the club captain I have in fact given to our player called Liam Bricker. Is he actually a player of ours, actually? He must be out on loan. So he looks pretty good, to be honest, I was going to say. But Leon Bricker, Jordan Pickford as well. So I didn't realise we had a few good players at the club that are loaned out. It looks pretty decent, to be honest. We have got a solid squad, and I'm happy with what we built. So I'm pretty pleased with that. But we have actually got a few games with England now, and they are in the group stages. So we are currently top. Italy is second, so we've still got a big role to play. We've just taken over as manager, And we're already jumping into our first game straight away. But we've got some player training before we jump into our first games with England. No one as yet increases. But I have got Oxford on both training sessions. So I want to get him up to the 70 rated as soon as I can. And I want to be playing him because I really do like playing with him. So we're going to jump into our first games with England, which are in fact European qualifiers, but we have got the first one away against Romania. We're not actually going to be playing them, but we are going to be simming them. I have changed up the lineup a little bit. We've brought in John Terry at centre-back, and we've also brought in Theo Walcott on the right. Hopefully we can pick up a win, and unfortunately we can't. We only end up drawing the game 2-2 against bottom of the league, so that's not good enough, to be honest. So now we've got a really difficult game now up against Spurs. It's going to be at home, so that is an advantage. We're at the Stadium of Light, but it's going to be a massive game for us here. We have got exactly the same lineup. Angel Correa, Defoe, Barini leading the lines. Just behind them we have Lenz and Pereira. Then we have Villa sitting back at the CDM, and then the back line is formed with Matthews, Stones, Kabul and Van Aanholt. So hopefully we can maybe try and pick up a point. A point I would be happy with. However, Tottenham have got really good chance here. Ericsson down the wing. We're trying to hold off. And we get there. And Kostel Pantilimon, just as I thought, it was easily going to claim that. Harry Kane comes out. And Harry Kane, the player that I wanted to sign but was going to cost too much, goes ahead and scores against us, and my beloved Harry Kane, he's one of our own, scores a goal against us. And Harry Kane there, or actually Ericsson down the wing, cutting inside, a good block by Kabul, but Pantilimon, you've got to do better. Barini through to Defoe here. Defoe squeezing it through to Angel Correa to pick up his first goal for the club. He can't because it's a wonderful save from Michel Vorm, but the ball comes back to Lenz. Can Lenz get there before the Tottenham player? No, he can't because Nabil Benslev outmuscles him there. But Stones with a lovely challenge here. He plays ball out wide to Pereira. It's a poor ball and we lose it once again. That's the problem with us today. We're creating chances, but every time we get the ball, we're giving it away too cheaply. So with 35 minutes remaining, we are going to make a substitution now. I don't know who to bring on, to be honest. I think Pereira we're going to take off and we're going to bring on... Who do we bring on? Do we bring on Kamano on the wing to give us a little bit more pace? And we're going to bring Mbolo on up top. Barini we're going to take off. Defoe we're going to bring back to centre forward. And Kamano and Mbolo, a little bit more pace to insert. Can we terrorise the Tottenham defenders? Because we cannot seem to get the best out of Danny Rose at the moment. He's catching us down the wing. And Lenz has saved our backside. It looks like he's actually won ourselves a point here. In the 75th minute, Lenz, which is our highest rated player, scores an absolute wonder goal for us. The first goal he scored for us may have been a little bit of a float because Brad Guzan should have saved it. But Kamana running down the wing here, he cuts back inside, plays the ball to Lenz. Lenz lets fly from range. Michel Vorm at full stretch, he can't get anywhere near it. And Jeremiah Lenz scores his second goal so far of his career at Sunderland, and what a fantastic one it was. We got a chance here. We play the ball through to Mbolo. Mbolo is going to be played through. Can he find the man at the far post? He puts a lovely ball across. Can Kamano win that in the air? He does win it. It's a lovely save from Michel Vorm, and what a ending to the game that would have been. If we could pick up all 3 points, we would steal them from Spurs. However, the referee blows the full-time whistle, and I said before the game I would in fact be happy with a point. I was especially happy with a point after actually going 1-0 down as well. A little bit disappointed to concede in the fashion we did, but Lenz picking up once again man of the match. He was really good for us in that game. He scored a fantastic goal as well, and it just proves that even though we didn't have the best of starts, we still are showing that we might be able to do something this season. And some good news as well, as Reece Oxford has now hit the 65 rating, so he's gone up from a 62 rating to a 65 already, and we're not even halfway through the season yet. However, that is in fact going to be it for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to hit the like button down below, as it really will help my channel out, and I really hope to next time very, very soon for the next episode of whatever the career mode that might be. Thank you, bye bye.